Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku's Showboat. Today is Sunday, September 8th, 2019. If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/Otaku's Showboat to leave a follow, turning on notifications to be reminded when I go live Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. US Eastern Time. You can also follow me on Twitter at Otaku Showboat and visit my website at otakushowboat.com. Today's question of the day is, why do you watch people play video games? Last time was, why do you play video games? This time is, why do you watch people play video games? For me, it's mostly to have white noise in the background while doing something else that's, somewhat something I'm interested in. I think the majority of the time that ends up happening on longer format type of content, longer playthroughs of games. I'll just have it going up on a side screen while I'm doing something else. So there's that for me, why I watch people play video games. There is also the occasional time where I'm trying to learn how to do something, so I'll watch some content from that, and that may get me going and starting up more longer form type of content. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. That's sort of what I'm trying to do here. So yeah, why do you watch people playing video games? That is our question of the day for the day today. Now, before I get into the game, there's actually quite a lot to talk about. There has been a lot going on recently that I need to take a little bit of time to discuss. And I see that Pyanodon is here, so that will be very relevant uh, with the talking points here coming up. So first off, Pyanodon has launched a Patreon page, so go support Pyanodon through Patreon. How did I find you? You were hiding. There's this little thing called users in chat that I popped up as soon as I hit 2 viewers to see, oh hey, is that Pyanodon? And yeah, it was. So Pyanodon has a Patreon page now. Go and support him. I am the first person supporting him for reference. Also, speaking of which, I too now have a Patreon page, uh, specifically designed to aid my continued existence and creation of content. So that's also a thing, if you're interested. Yesterday, as well, getting on to something somewhat related. Yesterday, I saw that there was a search. Someone came to my website after having searched for Otaku Showboat Discord. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if they're looking for my Discord ID or if they were interested in trying to find out if I had a Discord server set up. For reference, my ID is Otaku Showboat, 2 words, number 0209. That's the Discord ID. And I am in the Factorio server, official Factorio server, as well as technically I'm also in Catherine of Sky and Caladorn's server at the moment. As for my own Discord server, I do have one. It's not really set up, nor do I yet know how to properly set up and run one, but I'm sure that's something I can learn to do. But there's not really a point unless there's enough interest in it to begin with. So I'm thinking setting up and maintaining a Discord server should only happen if there is sufficient interest in it. So let me know in comments, and if enough people start saying that, hey, we want a Discord server, it would be great, then sure, I can set one up. I can set up my current Discord to have people join it and do all the social type things that I don't really do. But anyway, that is that. Next up is the rather important part, Pyanodon. So, Deadlock released Industrial Revolution lately. That's like the big thing right now. And there was a lot of confusion and controversy, I think, over Deadlock's licensing and the desire to basically block people from making monetized video content. Monetized video content. Oh boy, here we go again. Yeah, so Factorio itself, just to get this out of the way, Factorio itself, in the terms of service, grants people the right to make monetized video content for YouTube and Twitch. That's like not part of the equation here. But what's part of the equation here is that Deadlock is using the same exact license as PyMods and Angels Mods, which is the Creative Commons by attribution, non-commercial, non-distribution. Bob's does not use the NC, the Creative Commons license. He actually has a completely unique license that does say for non-commercial purposes. That does say don't make money off of my mods. Yet, neither Bob nor Angel nor you, Pyanodon, enforce that clause on people making monetized YouTube and Twitch content. And that's actually fine. It is within a rights holder's rights to not enforce a clause of the license if they believe it is in violation. Deadlock, though, has made it clear that he does not want this type of content. So, clarification, please. Pyanodon would be nice. Some sort of clarification. Because technically, what I'm doing right now could be interpreted as a violation of the license. In fact, this particular license has a lot of debate about it. It's a very controversial aspect of the Creative Commons license, the non-commercial clause in particular. It's because of the way it's defined, it's actually very open to interpretation. And I think it would behoove people to provide an extra layer of clarification as to their intentions. Yeah, I do understand that the point is that you don't want people selling your mods, or you don't want people making videos of your mods and then putting those videos behind a paywall, right? Like, you don't want people to directly sell your content. But the idea of monetized videos on YouTube and Twitch has always been a bit of a gray area. And has always, like, this is the whole, like, bigger, broader topic of, do video game makers really have the right to control and demonetize content of their games on YouTube. They do, but should they? Because it's a transformative work, right? There's aspects of it that's transformative, that's educational, and that make it into your own work in a way. So none of these issues have been legally resolved yet. All I can say is, well, maybe actually the Factorio devs themselves need to add a clause in their terms of service stating that mod terms are superseded by the terms of service for Factorio. Like, if they just straight up say that all mods must follow these terms of service for the base game, that literally clears up every issue at the moment, because the Factorio terms of service exactly state a grant for users to monetize video content and and will allow mod authors to not allow for monetization of their mods, right? I think that should be a part of the terms of service. I mean, I was reading the Factorio terms of service, right? And there can be some interpretation of that, I think, in the terms based off of the fact that when you make a mod for Factorio, there are a whole bunch of rights that get transferred to the developers. But what I don't know is if by granting them rights that they then also have the right to push their own terms on the user of the mod content. So what I don't know is if by default the terms of service for Factorio must supersede the terms of mods, and I would like that to be clarified. That I think is definitely something that should be clarified somewhere by some person, either through Factorio itself or individual mod authors just saying, hey, it's okay to do videos of our mods. Like, simply just having a place written down in a thread that you can link to on the mod pages saying, hey, in addition to this license, we also grant people the ability to do monetized videos. That's fine. And then Deadlock can be saying whatever he wants, which is probably just don't do that. Let's say you will sue me. And then we get into the, if I don't launch a rocket, then we get into the aspect of, can you actually enforce the license, right? Do you have the financial capabilities of actually enforcing your license? This is another aspect that is a weakness of the Creative Commons license that I've seen. One of the arguments against using these non-commercial clauses, yes, I understand you do want people to not steal your mod and monetize it. I'm not concerned about that whatsoever, but what I am concerned about is, do you even have the financial capabilities to enforce it? Chances are, for most mod authors, the answer is no. And there is a school of thought of, well, why even have these restrictions if it's literally impossible for you to enforce them in the first place? I still say that you should always at least have that option, right? You should, if you want to have that option, you should have that option. But that is a whole topic that has come up with Deadlock's release. In my honest opinion, I think Deadlock is wrong. for trying to enforce that sort of restrictions. I would think that he would want more people to see his mods in action. But as he stated his intentions, it would inherently make people such as Catherine of Sky and Nilaus, it would prevent them entirely from making content of his mods, of his overhaul, major overhaul. It would not be in their interest, literally, to make content of his mods. That specific mod. All of his other mods are actually open. Like, only Industrial Revolution has this license. Every other one is a more open license. As for Bob's mods, which is technically not the same license, but it does make a statement not to monetize. It doesn't have good, it doesn't define certain terms, so it could also be interpreted very broadly. But again, we get into this issue of, well, they're not enforcing it, so Alright, so you've spoken with Deadlock, and he's fine with those types of people making videos. Yeah, my issue is that Deadlock specifically stated that. So he had stated in a thread that while it's in a thread on the discussion section on his mod portal that it's okay if you're a small-time streamer not doing ad revenue on your videos, but as soon as you start doing ad revenue on your videos, that he would prefer you not doing it, which I take as saying, please don't, and is something that should be respected, right? You should respect that desire, even if you can do it anyway. You should at least respect the intentions of the mod author. Either way, for me, it's a moot point, because I have absolutely no intention of ever playing Industrial Revolution for making content of it, either way. I think it's boring, to be completely honest. And really, I mean, I like the sprites and the models on it, but I think that overall, the early game is just too boring for me. Even with the give me extra stuff, I still think it's too slow paced. I would need to the only way I can actually get through it normally, to make it bearable, is dramatically, forcibly increasing my handcrafting speed, as well as setting the game speed to 2. Yeah, it's the first time that the devs did a spotlight of an overhaul mod, and yes, I do. I'm not saying that it's straight up a bad concept. I really like the concept. I really do like the concept. I like the idea of having this nice, elongated, dedicated burner phase in the vein of AAI, but actually executed differently and with a bit more progression than just this single step that's relatively short. I do enjoy the concept, but it's the execution in the early game that I think is a little bit off. And I get that. Deadlock has said that it's this way because I want it to be this way, and that's his right to say that he wants it to be that way. So, and is very open about it not being for everyone, and it's just not for me. It's not for me. I consider that boring. I've been very open in saying that I don't like when a mod extends, slows things down and forces you to wait. I don't like that. I've been very clear that I don't like that, and this is yet another overhaul that does exactly that. It's more bearable in Pyanodons because there's still lots of planning and lots of tree chopping to do in the early game to get through that, but not so with Industrial Revolution. You will be sitting for several minutes at a time just waiting on buildings to handcraft before you are even capable of automating those intermediary processes. So, yeah. I think it should still be tuned. I think one day it might be tuned, but depending on the feedback of it, because I've seen lots of feedback with these exact same points made already about Industrial Revolution, and we shall see what happens as time progresses. Although there is something to be said that Bilka was one of the testers of this thing and was helping with the overall balance, so there is something to be said about them giving their all clear on that early game. So anyway, moving on from that, there were updates I saw that you posted to Pi Coal, Pi Petroleum Handling, and Pi Fusion that I don't think are all live yet. Let me actually bring up the game as I discuss this. So I saw that you changed the aromatics to olefins recipe to be a little bit less effective. That's fine. That just means more. That just means more. Yeah, and then the next one, Pi Petroleum Handling. Iron oxide no longer has the hot air recipe. Well, that works a little bit. I just have to switch over a recipe for that. The long-handed inserter lube recipe will use duralumin in place of steel, from what it looks like. Also, the rubber belts are 2 rubber into 1 belt instead of 1 rubber into 2 belts. The engine belt-based recipe no longer uses aluminium, it now uses duralumin, so it replaces the aluminium with duralumin, which... okay. More duralumin use in the relatively early game, I'm fine with that. Coal bed gas, yes, the 500C steam recipe to get coal bed gas now uses drill heads, and then the coal bed gas to acid gas recipe now needs drill heads, and that's like another one of the big things, because that makes getting infinite sulfuric acid now need drill heads through that process. Now, I guess a lot of people, like, I got that idea because it was mentioned on the forums. Like, I only knew about the coal bed gas into acid gas into sulfuric thing because it was on the forums. So it's clearly a thing that people have been using. So I mean, it was a decent amount of space for feeding just one machine. But yeah, drill heads is fine. Any of these matter? I don't think any of these matter. Oh, RSO. Have you... Oh, that's the other thing about Deadlocks. I have to mention this. The other thing about Deadlocks mods. No squeak through is a little bit of a deal breaker for me. I'll be completely honest with Industrial Revolution. It does not allow squeak through. And then as it launched, it didn't have support for RSO, but now RSO is updated, so RSO now works with Industrial Revolution. Yeah, Industrial Revolution, squeak through is an incompatibility. It forcibly prevents you from using it. Oddly enough, for the Deadlock larger lamps, it's also an incompatibility. Squeak through is also incompatible with larger lamps. I guess it's just because he doesn't feel like going through and making the hitboxes slightly smaller for the buildings? I don't know. I haven't seen any, like, reason stated yet that Squeak Through is on the incompatibility list. Bullet Trails gets superseded by it. Bob Library prevents like all the like major Bobs and all the major Angels mods working, although you can still use Bob's adjustable inserters for this, because Bob's adjustable inserters do not require the Bob's library. It just requires base. And there's an option, actually, to disable the Industrial Revolution version of adjustable inserters, which you actually have the ability in Industrial Revolution by default to decide which lane an inserter outputs on. The Bob's Adjustable Inserters mod, and you can turn that off if you're using another mod that allows you to adjust inserters, which Bob's Adjustable Inserters is the primary one that I think people use for this, and this gives you like the right angle inserter capabilities. No, Bob did not make changes to be compatible with Industrial Revolution. This has always been compatible with any mod ever. Like, I could use this with Pyanodons, with yours, just fine. I could use the Adjustable Inserters mod on this playthrough. I have chosen not to, just to keep the vanilla inserter mechanics. Note that this particular mod does not add inserters. It allows you to adjust the inserters that exist. That's all it does. So, if I had this, I would have the vanilla inserters and the ability to adjust all vanilla inserters, and that sort of defeats the purpose of having long-handed inserters, because you could make your fast inserters and your fast stack inserters able to grab things up to 3 tiles away at the highest tech level. So it makes things just a tad easier, as well as being able to do right-angled versions of your inserters. And, like, the situations where you can actually take and give back into the same machine, which is useful, actually, for the burners. But anyway, that particular Bob's inserters, and I also think technically Bob's... No, not Bob's modules. I think there was something else that didn't require the library. Yeah, Bob's enemies doesn't require the Bob library. So you could run Bob's enemies and Bob's adjustable inserters if you really wanted to, with Industrial Revolution and with the Pie Suite. So, anyway, that is that. Let me actually switch over to the full screen game now. Also, there's one last update. Pi Fusion just increased some screener recipe animation speed. And as I load in, see, I did try playing. I did load up. See, Industrial Revolution actually does have compatibility with AAI and Crastorio currently. So I did load up a game with Crastorio. It seems like it just pushes back the Crastorio stuff to do the early game stuff. This is my like belt automation. I have belts, splitters, undergrounds, and the deadlocks loaders right out here. It's like, hey, look at all these machines. I totally set my handcrafting speed to 1000 and the game speed to 2 when setting this up. Like, I'm not going to stream if I feel like I have to do those sort of cheats just to make the play somewhat bearable for me, right? Anyway, let us load in. Looks like I have to sync the save too. Yeah, it's like, I didn't make that block to be, like, efficient in any way, shape, or form, and it's nowhere near to any degree of ratio. That's just like, I must automate belt, because I will need a lot of belt. I know I will need a lot of belt, so give me belt. And then every single building's burner building, so you need coal for all of it too. And for all the initial inserters. It's an interesting logistical challenge, and I like the concept and the design and designing around this challenge of having to route coal to everything. I just don't like the handcrafting speed. Anyway, what did we do last time? Well, last time was all about setting up all of this nonsense. All of this crazy stuff. Oh, and for reference, this afternoon will be the release of the quartz processing tutorial on my YouTube channel and my website, just for reference. Oh yeah, technically my website has ads, so I guess I should ask, hey, can I, like, have my tutorial posts on my website that has ads? That's, like, a legal thing, right? That I need to ask for? Because I put a link to the video and I have screenshots. I guess if I didn't have the video or the screenshots, it should technically be okay, because it's not directly using any of the content of the mod, but because it has screenshots and the embedded video, that would technically be considered a commercial use, right? Even though it's a tutorial. So let's see here. I don't think I have to change this yet, because you didn't make the thing live. So the update's not live yet, but I just have to know that this is going to change. This will no longer be available to do hot air from iron oxide. Now, without the hot air recipe, which I believe is a 50%, on the iron oxide without hot air. Well, actually, this one gives you 10, this one gives you 12. 20 every 3.5 into 10. 20 every 3.5 into 12. That's 2 plates every 3.5 seconds of a difference. That's not even bad. It's not like it's a 50% boost like most other things. So that one's fine. Oh, hey, you're missing. Wait, what? Oh. I did this wrong. Or did I? No, I didn't do this wrong. You go there. You go there. Don't know why I didn't share the, coke lines, but anyway. That should take care of any issues on my relatively small burning lines. My completely reasonable lines of burners. I will never have to worry about ground boring quartz, just for reference. Not gonna have to worry about that. Anyway, today is going to be about finishing up the stone wool. And to finish up the stone wool, I have to start setting up high pressure furnaces. So let me go ahead and request those. On the way 0, but logistics... Oh, because I have 10 already. Cool. Where am I going to put this is the question of the day. Probably over here. Let's see. How many do I need again? It's 125, alright? Yes, casually saying that he's going to place 125 Mark II high-pressure furnaces to make some glorious stone wool. And then we get into the idea of, like, how am I going to bring in the creosote for this? So stone wool from gravel and creosote. 125. Looks like I need 3 creosote. Oh, no. No, I'm wrong, because I'm pretty sure that I did that. That's more like it. It's just 1 creosote, so that's fine. Don't have to worry about other outside inputs on that. The gravel will be brought in, as well as the coke brought in by robots. I think I'm going to need to make another coke thing? Is it that I need to make another coke thing, or that I need to wire up the power to the one that I just had made that's not currently powered? I think it's that case. Anyway. Oh. You are off by a tile. Oh yeah, that's the problem with these things. I have to remember that the box for this extends the entire length of the sprite, despite the illusion of it ending a little bit below. It goes all the way up the full length of the sprite. Oh, right, I can't... For some reason, in Factorio, if you do a copy-paste over an existing building from a thing that has modules into a thing that doesn't, it doesn't actually paste the modules. For some weird reason, it doesn't actually paste the modules. So if I had this building here, and my paste, it says it includes the modules on the paste, but if I click on this building, it does not request the modules. That's always something to bear in mind. That's really strange behavior. But, yeah, it's the current state of things. Let's see, and then how am I going to do this without being blocked? How many is that? 20! That makes things somewhat easier. So what I think I'm going to do... I'm trying to think of how I'm going to do the, logistic boxes. Let's see, due to the sheer amounts of things per building, it's actually not too bad per building. I think just a standard requesters will do it. And then the output's really low as well, so standard output would work as well. But what concerns me is I would have liked to do something like this and just had it feeding off of the single line, but I think I'll do 1 away, 2 away. Actually, I'm going to do that, that, and that. And yeah, I'm using stack inserters. I don't think I need the stack inserters. Especially since I am currently bottlenecked, I think, on the creation of these stack inserters. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take my good old upgrade planner here and say from stack inserters go back to the blues. Let's see if I got that right. Looks like it. Because fortunately, the upgrade planner can also be used as a downgrade planner. And I have a lot more of the fast inserters than anything else. Hey, they keep on bringing me things. I like this. They keep on bringing me my request on the high pressure furnaces. Oh, I'm out of thingies. Anyway, copy these 20, rotate, and plop. And there we go. There's the line. I guess I also should consider how I'm powering this. That should power everything in it. I want to make sure that I have the power lines in my copy. That I foresee being a problem with it on the outside as we tile downward. So that's 80, 100, 120, 140. I think I'm gonna kill the ones in the middle here. Yeah, let's kill these. Nobody played your mods with these proportions before. Yeah, see, there was a reason why I was actually tempted to join your $10 tier. Just so that I can be like, just give you a message that said collagen. Because, you know, at the $10 tier of Pyanodon's Patreon page, you can give suggestions as to the future development of the mod, and I was highly tempted to do $10 and just give a message that says collagen. I held back, though, and only did the $5 tier, which gives access to the polls and such for future development. But it was very tempting. Just one word, collagen. Because that's been painfully clear. Just to feed frickin' 49 agitators for collagen, getting like just over 10 per second, or no, not 10, 18, I think, or something like that, per second on collagen is just... it's just insane. Yeah, no, I know that Pi Alien Life will bring additional ways to get skin for the collagen. But when Pi Alien Life releases, I have to start a new map, right? It's not going to be a seamless transition. Wouldn't want to just install Alien Life on a pre-existing setup here. Should I just finish the square Should I just finish the 2x2? It's tempting. I've already overbuilt a little bit. You know, just a little bit on this. Oh, they're moving. Cool. I'm happy. They just add creosote. Alright, let's add creosote. Just as soon as my buddies bring me more niobium piping. Oh, really? Construction bots are giving me stuff. I thought it was Logibots that will bring me stuff. Or it was supposed to be. Anyway. Where do I want to... Probably on this line. Connect everything up. Oh, that spacing just barely works. Yeah, this works just fine. Of course, I need my regular pipe, too. Oh, hey, it's regular pipe. Thanks. Thank you, Logibots, for the standard niobium pipes. Much appreciated. Alright, where is my creosote? Probably way, 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 way... over here? Here. Right. Creosote. So, there's my creosote. From renewably based tar. Just as soon as I get all the destructive distillation columns built. How many are in here? Plenty. I'm tempted to just, you know, stop making iron oxide from nitrobenzene and iron plates. It seems like rather redundant now. But I don't know if I probably do actually have, because each and every single one of these setups here is also giving non-zero amounts of the iron oxide. All of these are also giving iron oxide as byproducts. I probably don't need any more actual production of iron oxide as long as things keep moving. But therein lies the problem. Things need to keep moving. The only iron oxide I can count on that is a byproduct to keep moving is from these. These are the only ones that I think I can count on because I'm technically also voiding some gravel somewhere. Hello. Hello, Callie. I'm just building at a scale that is making even Pyanodon shudder a little bit. Don't mind me. This is what happens when you robot. For reference. This is what happens when you robot. Things can get pretty out of hand pretty quickly. UPS death incoming. Well, it's sort of been that way for a while. Oh, yeah, all, like, 14 grand, close to 15 grand Logibots are active. I think if my computer can handle over 15,000 Logibots actively moving at a time, I think we're okay for a little bit. I think we're okay for a little bit. I think I would be... I don't even know what my limitation would be. I have a pretty good PC. We shall see when it starts failing. when it starts failing me. Alright, let's get you some power. Power would be nice. No. Not there. There. Yeah. I'll take that. And down here. Okay, there's creosote, officially. Now for more pipe work. Yes, all of these Mark 1 bots. They are wonderful. Let's get rid of these before it causes me problems later. I can already foresee problems happening because I don't properly terminate my pipelines. Okay, so I have to go from here to here. Right there. There to there from here. So straight across and then up. But complicating the straight across is... let's see, is this line clear? This line might actually be clear the whole way down. That is shocking. Okay, there. Right there. But that is right after where I need to be. Okay. Cool. I can go all the way to the point where I need to go without any issues. Let's do that. These are only Mark 1 bots, by the way, Pyanodon, just because I haven't done stainless steel yet. That's the only reason, I think. It's just, hey, unlike the Mark 2 construction bots, I guess I should probably do the Mark 2 construction bots. That might be a thing. Although, it's gonna be a real pain in the rear end upgrading my robots. Like, how many roboports do I have right now? Several hundred, I'm sure. Roboports on this network. So actually grabbing the Mark 1 construction bots is going to take a while. Usually what one would do is they would put a filter inserter pulling out the specific robots into a chest, the ones that need to be upgraded. But trying to put a filter inserter on every single roboport that I have, literally every single junction that I have, is an issue. I mean, over time, setting it on one should filter them out just fine, but, yeah, it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while, I think. Do I want this here or, like, a little further? There? What's the actual alignment? Yeah, right there. Alright, cool. This is actually doing the filter inserter to pull out the old bots is how you do it even with Bob's Angels as well. You just put filter inserter on a roboport and it'll pull them out as they come in. The only issue is if you have a ton of roboports, it'll take a long time to filter out all of the robots. And that's the creosote. It's operating! We've got non-zero stone wool. Non-zero stone wool. Yeah, we're running, you know, I guess we're running 11 networks, but we're running one network. Why is it 11 networks? Huh? I guess as stuff is building, it's... Yeah, all of... Each and every single one of the things without power, I think, is popping up as an individual network. Yeah. So I've got things without power, and it's considering them separate networks. But I have only really one. Only really one network here. Yeah, no, F, I need more stone wool. Yeah. Because it's really no S, but anyway. Let's see. It's time for power, right? That gets those moving. Oh boy. So, stone wool is happening. That is the final thing. We're also at 201 hours. Oh yeah, speaking of licenses, Clock mod is Bob's mods and is still under the same, like, no commercial use thing that Bob's runs off of, too. Like, oh yeah, same arguments across the board there. It's like, alright. Like, well, do you want people to make content or not? Legally. People are gonna do what they're gonna do, regardless, I think. Anyway, finally bringing life into the Zapier. My 180 artificial reefs. Thank you so much for how slow these are, Pyanodon. It moves! It's alive! They're alive and moving. And giving me a ton of stuff that's, that I'm going to have to void. Right. That's another thing I need to be concerned about is, exactly how much needs to be burned here. Dang it, I wish... Have you ever wished that the length on the wires was just one more tile? I have. Constantly. Always. I need to, like, request more medium poles or something to have on me at all times. Let's pump that up to 200, shall we? Yeah, it's working. And as all of the buildings come in up here, it will continue to work as all of the buildings move. If you're wondering about where all of my bots are, they're sort of running around moving soil to sand, and then sand into classifiers. That's what they're all busy with, like, all of them. Every single one, and it's not even full yet. Like, not all the buildings aren't even done, placed. Where are my thingies? Bring me thingies! Alright, I guess everything is technically delayed because they're delayed in bringing me things because they're busy. Are the bots even able to keep up with the production? No, they're not. That's what it means when it says we're at 0 Logibots out of 14,931. They're not fully capable of keeping up with the requests. I knew there would be a spike in logistics bot usage when I set up that many soil extractors into sand, but wasn't quite expecting it would use all of them. Prior to setting up the soil and sand, it was, I think, 3,000 in use at a time, but it went from 3,000 in use to all of them almost instantaneously. So if you ever wondered how to use all your Logibots, just place some soil to sand. Yeah, that'll do it. Now remember what I said about technically voiding gravel somewhere? Yeah, this is it. And that's why the classifiers should keep moving at least the rate at which the burners can burn. I think. We shall see. Anyway, what am I doing now? Besides waiting on small electric poles, which have now arrived. Oh, hey, hello, buddy. Go. Be free! Be free, my minion. We're still not done yet because I have to set up the voiding of... Like, I have to set up... So I have to set up the... How many assembling machines? How many assembling machines? Did I not note how many assembling machines? I did not note how many assembling machines. I need assembling machines to render my zip years. How many is it exactly? Zip year rendering, it should be listed here. Did I use any thingies on you? 180 is 7.2. I think I used these on you. $83. So 83 automated factory Mark IIs will need to be set up. That'll be done in a 2x2 for reference. May as well stop requesting those to have on me and give me all of them that I currently have. All 40. It's about half of what I need. But it's what I need nonetheless. So I need to do rendering and I need to do the voiding of all the various things. Quite literally all of the various things, including extra skin, just in case. I have to buffer warehouse all these outputs from the rendering. Maybe set up some set up some tanks for the blood and all of that, and overflow valve kill. And I think I have every intention of just doing a copy and paste here. Because I really don't feel like... doing this a second time fully, so I'm just gonna do copy, grab all of the thingies, and I should just be able to paste. That lets me put down all of the poles without really changing anything. There we go. This particular tile is off. This, like, box is off by a single tile versus this one, so things might be a little messed up on the power side of things. Alright, place all the stuffs. Oh, right, you're a thing. Did I not take care of that? I took care of it here, but I didn't take care of it here? Okay. Where's that flash I was just looking at? This one. You feed in from there, so that's fine. Alright. Cool. The center of these 2x2 blocks don't have logistic coverage, which is a shame. They're moving! They're moving! They're making their whale calls. They're arthropoid whale calls or whatever. Or squid whales. That's what I think they are closer to. Ever so slightly phallic. With claws. I mean, they're like a mix between cephalopod, whale, and crawdads. Also known as crayfish. So that's all working, technically. It will improve as things get built. Time to cut them into pieces. Oh boy. Makes me wonder. So, Tirsif has made pie veganism, which is in testing at the moment. I do have to wonder just what the process is to make collagen in pie veganism. And just how balanced, quote-unquote, is it compared to this? Because it might actually be tempting to use pie veganism if it actually makes getting collagen easier. The only issue, of course, also being you sort of do need to start a new game for that. Some people just don't like hurting animals. I fear the amount of work that will be involved to make pie veganism available for alien life. Yeah, good time. Yeah, Tirsup's gonna have a really good time with alien life, considering the whole basis of that is, you know, literally raising animals for slaughter. Quite literally, it's about raising animals for slaughter. That's gonna be a good time, right? Let's see. I need these across the board, actually. So that's 6. Oh, God. 83 into... divided by 6. That'd be 14 lines of these. I can fit 4. Maybe 5. Into a 1x1. I think I can get rid of all of these. All of these was just like for planning. This was my planning and decision making on the stone wool. Because stone wool has the gravel recipe as well as the stone recipe, and I was trying to decide which is the better option that involves the least amount of space. Yes, I chose an option that I believe to have used a reasonable amount of space for the stuff that it makes. I actually specifically chose gravel because this process exists to make gravel out of sand, despite how much space it takes to make the sand. Just because it's a lot of gravel out. Well, it's enough gravel out for my intentions, and it also gives a reliable supply of the iron oxide and crushed quartz. Now, I was actually, as part of my research, actually, into all of the, like, license type stuff lately, because I was actually looking to see, hey, has this come up before in any of the discussions? I actually found, completely unrelated to all of that, someone reported a cyclical issue on the sand to powdered quartz. Apparently it could feed itself. Or not powdered, crushed, because you could do sand to crushed quartz, and then processing crushed quartz into powdered would give you back sand. I guess at one point it would give you back enough sand to feed the process perpetually. So it seems that that process was already nerfed to require more sand, because you specifically said that you would fix it in, like, February. There was, at one point, a cyclical process here, that it was self-perpetuating, but it requires a heck of a lot of sand now, so I think that that's fixed. That got fixed. I think so. You said you would fix it on a post, Pyanodon. I'm assuming it's fixed, otherwise it's not, and there's technically still... If it wasn't fixed back in February, then... I'm pretty sure it is, because... Do I have any of those classies on me? I do. It's... What recipe? That's the recipe. It's, let's see, it's 20 sand to make 2 crushed. And then it's a ball mill. I probably don't have any ball mills on me. It is a ball mill. Like, I'm pretty sure that 2 units of crushed quartz don't make 20 units of byproduct sand. Or, in this case, it's gravel into sand, because the crushed to powder makes gravel that you can crush back into sand. I'm pretty sure that the amount of gravel that you get as a byproduct from 2 units of crushed quartz does not give you 20 units of sand in the end. So I think at some point this might have been a much lower value on the sand. So it's already been nerfed. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. It's already been nerfed. At some point. So if you think this is overpowered, A, need I remind you of space? Need I remind you how big this is? At the scale I'm operating this at to run this in the first place. And B, it's not actually cyclical anymore. It's like, before you think any of this is overpowered in any way, please bear in mind how many buildings and how much space is being used for all this. I think it's pretty fair. Oh, I already requested that. Cool. You? There. Yeah, aka please don't nerf stuff. Yep, that is exactly what I'm saying. Please. Please no nerf. Doesn't need to be nerfed. It's already nerfed as it is, and this is what it looks like after a nerf. Heck, you know, the whole purpose of all this, right? The whole purpose of setting up this amount of collagen, right? Like, everything is done for a reason. Why does one need this much collagen? Right? Because drilling fluid. Why does one need drilling fluid? Because recently, ground borers were changed. I'm using my own personal mod to make this, to revert this change for the moment, but ground boring of ores now requires drilling fluids. Various drilling fluids. So, chromium, aluminium, as well as zinc and nickel and nexylite all require drilling fluid 2. Niobium and molybdenum all require drilling fluid 3. And my plan is to get all of my ores available from ground boring through ground boring. For the exception of nexylite, which you can get through tailings a lot cheaper than through drilling fluid 2, as well as clearly not stone, not limestone, not quartz either, which quartz I think still is lubricant and coal gas. It's like, well, I have infinite amounts of quartz, basically. Infinite amounts of glass, I should say, from the crushed quartz to run what I need to operate for the drilling fluids. And some things require 300 units of drilling fluid too. But between like 150 and 300 is the range on the items that need drilling fluid, of just the drilling fluid too. And you can see each one of those processes is not 0 on collagen. And thus why I'm trying to get as much collagen as I can. And the setup here that I'm doing is going to give me up to 18 point something amount of per second of collagen. And it's going to be glorious. So sad. I can't fit 2 more. I can fit 1 more, though. I can fit 1 more, though. Place that down, and then just remove these, sure. I'm actually, by building this here, I am actually thinking about my robots and their flight distances. Because if I really wanted to keep everything together, I would have put this, like, here. But then I would have had robots flying from here to here, when I wanted to keep this open, but I can't. So, unfortunately. I can't keep it open like that. Let's see. Wait, what was the number here? How many? 30. Okay. Why not trains? I haven't built a single unit of rail. Like, let that sink in. It's 30, right? Yes. 60. 80. You're really gonna make me build, like, 3 more, right? Game. Right, game. I need 83. Okay, 3 more. 3 more. 1. 2. As much as this annoys people. And 3. 83. Exactly how much I need. So why not trains? I don't use trains. That's just my own personal preference. I don't like setting up trains. And I have never gotten into a habit of using them. Very similarly with robots, I just don't tend to use robots, and when I do, it just ends up looking like this. But then again, this is also the first time I have ever built at this level of scale. I do have an Angels playthrough where I did decide I would attempt to use trains, and it's like, eh. I guess, I mean, I think it was an okay use of trains, but I didn't, like, build a base around trains. I don't build for trains. Like, it seems best if you build for trains in mind from the very beginning, and I didn't, so I'm not. This is, like, off by a lot. If I actually designed my grid for trains, I would have had gaps to run the rail lines and like station stuff. I would have had to have included space for it from the beginning. I was going to make this middle line here empty for that very purpose of having the option to run line of rail here and then maybe another one up here and such, but yeah, and the base would be even bigger. And I also don't tend to isolate my logistic zones, which would be another problem if things were so incredibly huge. I would have been forced to isolate logistic zones, which means, you know, manually bringing in a whole bunch of robots for each logistic zone. And I'm not going to go through that effort. Straight up, I would rather not go through that effort, thank you kindly. Also, I'm technically making skin now. I just thought of that. I am technically making non-zero skin. I do have to take these pipes and void this blood or something. Oh, right. Guess I need a thingy here. I need to do something with the blood and the meat and the bones, because they're gonna take up a ton of space. An absolute ton of space. But in the meantime, what am I missing? Steam. Oh boy. That's all I need is steam. Just add steam. That is honestly something I haven't been thinking about, period. Like, full stop. I have not been thinking about that. Wait a minute. There. 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 And... Excuse me? Excuse? You are different. You be different. Why you be different? Cool. Just add Steam. Let's see, where am I going to combine all of the pipes for the steam and then run the steam? Oh, hello, methanol. Oh yeah, I also sorta need to start voiding this wastewater, so you also need power? Alright, that's a thing. Oops. Like, oh yeah, you sorta need to have space. Hey, 202 hours now. Alright, that should be able to clear out all of the wastewater. Every single little bit of it. I suppose it makes some degree of sense. Oh, I'm not doing anything down here. I have a bunch of 1x1s here. This could be a 2x2. If I really desired. How much steam do I need again? And do I need a 2x2 to do this? The cat has arrived. Yeah, big shake. Returning to your usual spot, your throne, next to me. Let's see, that is 2 pipes. 2 pipes worth of steam. Oh, this isn't good. No, this is bad. This is bad. This is very, 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 very bad. Here? Here! Not here! Yeah. Alright. Time for the ugly. Time for the pipe getty. Speaking of pipe getty. Oh, that doesn't work. It's pipe getty. Oh, and I did say that I needed 2 lines. Oops. Actually, we shall leave it like that. Yes, we shall leave it like this. Haha. Plans. Plans and schemes. Schemes and plans. Alright, so that's 2 lines. 2 independent lines of, steam. Completely independent lines of steam. This one's 1, 2... Oh, I didn't... There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That works. least it should work. It's nowhere near 2400, which is the time I'll start thinking about 3 independent lines. So, steam. 1 megajoule, huh? How much, excess methanol am I making? Let's see, I'm doing 180 into 232. I think. 36, 232.2. I'm using up to 196. Let's see, 232 or 223.2 divided by 180 times 196. That's 2. Oops, I did that math completely wrong. It's 180 over 223.2 times 196. 158.1 methanol is being used, and I am making... Yeah. So what's the difference here? 238.08 minus 158. It's 0.064516, yada yada, 80. Effectively 80 spare. Okay, 80 spare. That means I do have an option of using this to make me some steam. To make me some steam. I forget though, and I should be... Where are you? Wherefore art thou? Oil burner of Mark 1s. Let's see, I said I needed how many? 11960 divided by 60, that's 33. Oh gosh. 33. Wow. 33. Let's see, these things act like normal boilers. Energy consumption 1.8 megawatts. What's 33 times 1.8? 59.4. We're good. Oh yeah, 59.4 is less than 80. So I can do this way. I don't have to use any of my coke for boiler lines because I have methanol with a fuel value of 1 megajoule, which is the equivalent of 1 megawatt for 1 megajoule per second. So if I consume 1.8 megajoules per second, or 1.8 units of this fuel per second, or 1 megawatt, or 1.8 megawatts, I will have enough production to feed the steam for my collagen. Wonderful, beautiful, glorious steam. Now, 33 means 2 lines of water. Let's see here. How do I want my input and output, and where do I want things aligned? probably about like... Give a little bit more space, so... That could not be more perfect. 20 by 60. Yeah, that will work. That's 24. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3. Yes, keep bringing me these buildings. Actually, stop bringing me these buildings, and, yeah, just stop bringing me these buildings now. I do not need them. I have my 33 that I need. 33 buildings. I will probably, however, want a few more niobium pipe. Just a few. Excellent. Let's get my more deep water wells. This is why I put space here for reference. Lots and lots of pipe. These must remain independent, but I will have a glorious, oops. A glorious thingy. Actually not there. Right there. That works. Ta-da! And that just leaves you there. Done. Done. Get this pipe down. Thank you, my minions, for bringing me plenty of pipes. Yeah, that is actually pretty nifty that actually can fit in a 2x2. Very, very nifty. So yeah. This actually inherently helps to divide the steam between the two outputs. That's why I have this tank here, because the tank... Think of this tank as acting as a belt balancer for pipes. Or you could also think of it as a... Do I actually have any normal warehouses? I probably don't. Think of it as a warehouse with belts being loaded in and then brought out like so. This is effectively a 4-to-2 belt balancer, or a 4-to-3, or a 4-to-4, or a 4-to-5 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever. 6 to 12 belt balancer thanks to the power of loaders. Without actually doing belt balancers. Just place a warehouse and you've now balanced your output. Horrible for UPS though. Eh. Hey, it's non-zero. Either way, hey, it's non-zero. We've got collagen. The collagen. It has happened. Like, screenshot time. Yeah, the collagen has happened. Yeah, I'm sure it does impact the UPS from the loader calculations. Oh, hey, buddy, UA aren't needed, so die, thanks. You don't have power, but technically aren't needed either. You don't have power, but are technically not needed. Guess it's time to go around and troubleshoot now that I have this moving. They're moving, they're making their whale sounds. Speaking of whale sounds, I have been tempted to go and actually play Subnautica again. I haven't really touched Subnautica in over 3 years at this point. It was 2016 when last I really played it. But Subnautica is like my VR game. That was like my moment of realizing just how awesome VR is, was playing Subnautica with the controller in my hand with my Oculus Rift. It's like, this is the thing. It helps that I don't get motion sickness at all. For any reason. I can sit in Skyrim with all of its settings set to just provide you the maximum movement, just normal camera controls. And I can just sit down with the controller in hand in Skyrim and just do circles, just spin. Just put far left or far right on the camera stick and just go and just spin at hundreds of RPM and it does nothing to me. Absolutely nothing to me. It is pretty odd, I think, that that's just an aspect of me. I just don't get motion sick. So a game like Subnautica with full range of motion under the sea, being able to do the full 360 around you is it was a great experience. Even in early access back in 2016-ish, when last I had tried it. Made some videos on it back then on the YouTube channel, but as they say, incredibly out of date currently. Okay, so I'm needing burners again. Lots and lots of burners. Make sure that I have burners. I've got nothing, no burners on me. Great. No burners is sad. Here, burners. So each of these can burn up to 15 items per second. If I look at you... So, how many burners am I gonna need? Burner lines am I going to need? Was it 15 per second that I tuned it to, or 30? I think it was 15 on these. I just happened to use red belts. So, let's see, it's 3... Gosh, 7? So I need... basically... this times 2. Oh, as crazy as that sounds. I need this times 2. Please. This times 2, please. Actually, I need to go a little bit... like here. Then as for where the heck I'm placing this, because clearly it's not going to fit in 1 by 1. Probably gonna have to be all the way down here. Sad as that will be. Then I can't actually... I don't know. I think there is the width there to fit 2. Yeah, so you're going in there, and I'm going down, and I'm going to convert this to a 2 by 2. Because don't forget, I do have to take care of the meat and the bones. Now, I could use the bones for other things. Currently, don't really have much use on the... Wait, why are you not moving? Oh, full. Steam be full, currently. What was I saying? It completely left me. Not much use for the meat, but I do have use for the other things. Congratulations, you're officially a 2 by 2. Please actually be enough space? Like, are you... You're kidding. Just one stupid tile. One... Not even just one tile, but... You? How did I... Is that spacing... Okay, tell you what. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to... break things. I'm gonna line this up mirrored. Ish. That looks right. Mirrored-ish. And then when it gets to here, looks like you need to do that, but that means that this doesn't get fed. Now what that means is I can just move that up 1 And then feed in right there. And everything should function just fine. Then we get up to here. Probably something... Ah, you are as simple as that. That one's good, and that's it. Cool. Likely do not have the belt for this. Yeah. Don't have the belt for this, so yet again, I'm going to take my upgrade planner, and I'm going to say from red to yellow, and take that and do a little bit of this. Now this maintains the red undergrounds here, so what I may also want to do is be like red underground to yellow, red splitter to yellow, and just do across the board that. I mean, it is going to still want the red loaders, though. Which are on the way to me, technically, but anyway. This should cover everything. Theoretically. I think this should cover it all. Thankfully, I have a couple of buffer chests. For now, though, I will be getting rid of everything in these chests, which will include the meat and the bones. Now, if I can remember where meat and bones exist, should be in here somewhere. Meat for you. Give me all of the meat, and then give me the yellow loaders. All the meat. And all of the bones. Bones! All of them. Glorious meat, glorious bones. Oh joy. Yeah, I guess I will take the red loaders and make them into yellows here. Just across the board. Also, you and you, you and you, you, you. And you and you. There we go. Actually giving my construction bots something to do. For once. Actually made progress today. That's another huge milestone. Hey. Progress? What is this nonsense? Who is this person actually making progress? Give me the big tanks, please. Bring me some big tanks. I would like some big tanks to fill with blood. Thanks. Give me all of the blood. Whole 470 units per second of blood. You will be stored out here. If I'm not mistaken, the way that I've done this... Yeah, everything should be already connected for me. Yep, everything all the way down the line should be connected. Also, Red Viper, as that follow, as of 1 hour ago, you are officially the 50th follower. So unless things changed, I now have the follower count for affiliate status. So congratulations, as the 50th follower. You have managed to get me to the point where I could do the affiliate thingy if I had the average views, which I don't. Yes, thank you. But I don't have the average views, so it's still gonna be a while. So yeah, let's get as many followers as possible to make sure that I don't actually fall back below 50 by the time I do get the average views. Those are rather important average views, you know? Need to get above 3 on that. I'm still waiting on these stupid tanks. Where are my tanks? Give me tanks! There's a tank. There we go. The tanks! They have arrived. Auto-saving! Let's see, how do I want to do my tanks? Like so. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. Whoops. 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I've got some storage for blood. I think I might have some storage for blood. And then let's make sure that I am semi-intelligent. Let's just overflow valve. Overflow! You know what? No. No, I'm not going to overflow valve. I am, however, going to attach literally all of these with wire. So that, A, I can do something crazy. Let's see, these hold 100,000? Yes, 100,000. And I have 10, so that's 1 million units, which is an extra... Can I build Nixie tubes yet? That's the other thing. Hello. Yeah. Nixie tubes. Give me my Nixie tubes. I've been meaning to make Nixie tubes for quite some time. So let's see. 1 0 0 0 0 0 0. And I forget. It's been so long since I last did an Ixie tube, I forget where the wire goes. Wire go here? I guess? Blood. Blood, 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 blood. Show me blood. All caps. Blood. Show me blood. 62,000, 100,000s, millions. Okay, so I'll be able to see the full line. Up to 1 million blood. Also, you will exist. You will get a wire. And you will only be enabled if glorious blood is equal to, let's say if it's exactly 1 million. 1,000,000 set. So all this is going to do is just void excess, although maybe I shouldn't be so stringent. I don't know if this would cause issues, because it might not ever actually technically hit 1 million. Maybe if it's greater than or equal to 975,000. Let's set that. I did say greater than. Yes, yes. Cool. So the signal... It's not going to tell me the signal because I haven't sent it to a poll. Let me send the signal to a poll. So 74K is the current signal. 75K. Which it should be identical to the Nixie tube. I just want to make sure that I can see it on the poll. So that's what this should see and base its thingies off of. So then I need sinkholes. Glorious, beautiful sinkholes. Oh, I already have sinkholes. And I need to void, what was it, 400 and something units per second up to. I wish that the sinkholes and gas vents were identical to pie block sinkholes and gas vents. They have already been buffed. Red Viper. Just for reference, the sinkholes and the gas vents have already been buffed, actually. Forget exactly how long ago, but I do remember them being buffed during this playthrough, so... Even though they're only voiding 60 units per second each, I think they used to be 40. And tailings ponds are really good. Tailings ponds are the only way to void, straight up void steam, excess steam. Which makes them fantastic. Could you get rid of that crushed quartz that's sitting in my inventory? Thanks, now that I've noticed that it's been sitting there. How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12? 12 by 60, yeah, that's enough. That's enough. As I accrue blood. Why are you accruing blood? You'll see. Like, why are you accruing blood? Well, this exists. Although... I mean, yeah, this would definitely be a use of the blood and the bones. Organic matter is free, as is ash, as is urea. This actually Huh. Have I inadvertently made infinite amounts of fertilizer? Oh, I just have I just have to laugh at this because I think I may have just inadvertently gotten a method as huge of a footprint for space as it is, and as much energy as it uses, and as many robots as it's taking to operate. I think I just got a way of doing infinite amounts of fertilizer. Interesting. But I wonder. I highly doubt that the amount of fertilizer that I would get out of this process would allow me to swap over certain processes to using fertilizer. Like, I don't think it would give me enough fertilizer. So he says at this massive scale that he doesn't think that it would give him enough fertilizer. uh, I'm talking about enough fertilizer where if I used fertilizer processes in every process that I'm using to get the fertilizer, I think it would use more fertilizer than what I would end up producing, is what I'm saying here. Between all of the mushrooms for all of the coke and such to feed the stone wool. Which reminds me, I need to do the power on the other coke area. So let's go do that. I think that it still is a net negative in overall fertilizer output, but it would still be fertilizer and it would allow me to do some fertilizer processes for other things, such as guar would be an interesting prospect, but in the end, all it would do is help me slightly reduce the footprint of guar. It's like, in the end, all fertilizer actually does for you is help make things more compact. That's all it really does. Now, so instead, blood is actually used for blood meal, which I'm going to be needing more blood meal so that I can make both nylon, which I might actually switch off of this recipe in favor of this one. It is nichrome, though. I really don't like things that use nichrome because of how expensive nichrome is on the chrome in particular. Benzene is free, as is, like, completely free, as is ammonia and chlorine. These are really simple. This is a little bit more expensive. It's also 0.6 per second versus... that's a bit of a wash, really. I'm currently doing this for nylon. I guess I really didn't have to, did I? Interesting. Why did I not consider this recipe? I don't know. Maybe I didn't have access to it at the time? Or I was thrown off by the benzene? Either way, CO2 is free, steam is free. This forced me to set up phenol. That was the thing. This forced me to set up phenol, and it forced me to set up the initial Zapier line. This was all for nylon, my current blood meal setup. But anyway, I'm going to need blood meal for the rations. And you need rations to get serine. through the enclosures, and you need serine, apparently, for alien bacteria 1, which still doesn't say that there's a building crafted in, because they're needed in further recipes in bioreactors for ethanolamine, which is part of the pure gas, high purified gas, which is part of helium stuff. So if I ever wanted to do like helium related stuff, I would need to do this bacteria. It's also needed for resin, which resin gets used for some rather important stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure this is an ingredient in utility science. Yeah. So you need the bacteria for utility science, which is why I'm very confused why. What is it really used for? It does not show me the building for the bacteria. Highly confusing, that. It's like, well, what's the bacteria in again? Like, what makes the bacteria? That would be a good question for Pyanodon. Anyway, you need power. That's why I'm up here. Oh, you just need an actual wire connection. There. That does it. Single wire connection. And then a wire connection up there, and you are officially good. So, what I just did here is give myself another 4 yellow belts worth of coke production. Just immediately, just 4 more yellow belts of coke, just casually. It's all being used. Up to all being used. Potentially. Is that it? Am I done? Is collagen finally done? What am I using for power? Good question. I shall show you. Wow. I shall show you. Primarily, this. Allow me to show you my 160 mushroom farms being converted into coal, being converted into 4 yellow belts of coke, as well as a whole bunch of hydrogen being produced, being converted into combustion mixture in Mark II powerhouses, being converted into 1.2 gigawatts of power. Just casually 1.2 gigawatts of power. With a bit extra from this, converting the coal dust into power. That thing produces 1.2 gigawatts, up to 1.2 gigawatts. I think there's like a few niggling issues with it, but yeah, it gross output is 1.2, not net, but the actual power to feed the machines is coming from solar. So solar is feeding all of the actual machines in the system, and then the 1.2 gigawatts is going out to the rest of the base of this, and I can just copy this and paste it however many times I want. Because I'm using the stone water wells, I don't even have to worry about routing water in. I do, though, have to worry about filling up the closed loops every time, because this is sort of like 8 individual closed water loops for the steam and such, and each one needs to be filled. Otherwise, I am using... So in total, I have up to 2 gigawatts of potential production before things get screwy. I also have these setups. Now, the basis for this is on the forum, in the Pyanodon's forums, but, and it was done by someone else, not by me, but this was made in PyBlock. So there are some modifications that need to be made to this if you want to use it in a standard Pi game, because all of the standard pipe units were made using the wrought iron pipes from PyBlock. And this is the Mark II version, by the way. There is a Mark I version as well. But this, in the Mark II version, is about 150 something net. No, pre-net power production. It does come with wiring for all of the internal buildings being on a separate network from the outputs on the combustion turbines. So it actually comes like that on the blueprint, which is nice because it lets anyone power with solar the actual buildings for this as well, which is very desirable. And then, yeah, it's like, well, 150, 150, 150, etc. And then down here, I think you're still a Mark I is down here. But same sort of setup, just with the Mark I combustion turbines. So up to 2 gig is what I have right now. Currently only using 1.2-ish. We are officially into the gigawatts now on this base. How's the iron looking? Iron's looking somewhat okay. How is the niobium looking? I haven't looked at you in ages. This niobium patch has lasted and lasted and lasted. How about nickel? Nickel's not looking too hot, but it's still got some time before I have to worry about it. Aluminium was just moved. Molybdenum is missing a few miners. Slightly an issue. Even more coke out here. How about the copper? How is the copper? Dying slowly, but I already have, I think, pretty perpetual copper set up, and then titanium. Just those two, so this is a pretty dense patch, so you're gonna last some time as well. And then this tin is starting to die a slow death. I should probably really get on to taking care of all of that. So as I had mentioned, my goal ultimately is to ground bore. I want to ground bore all of the major ore types, a yellow belt of each major ore type, and I want to set up the full processing chain up to and including high-grade processing on my network, on my robot network. Speaking of which, when I set up my lead, because that is the only current thing that I have set up to high grade, I was way off on my math. I was way off on my math on the lead. So when I set up the lead, I somehow calculated that I would end up with 100 units per second of lead plates and like 20 of silver. No. No, that is absolutely not the case. It's more like 24 and 4-ish. Like, I somehow was off by a factor of, like, 5 on it. So, there's that. Off by a factor of 5-ish on the initial calculations on the lead. Yeah, that was some pretty bad math, and I only realized it because I'm going through and I'm making tutorial overviews of the full ore processing chains at the moment. And when I did my initial setup for lead, I was going through and I was doing some of the math, and I was like, oh, hey. Yeah, this is not what I initially had calculated on my save file. On my stream save. So yeah, that was a little off. Just a little. I still have way more lead than I will ever need in terms of the lead plates. But it's not as much silver either, and I was sort of hoping that I had the 20 on the silver. That was slightly disappointing. But yeah, I don't have enough carbonyl sulfide production currently to even feed this at maximum rate. Like, to begin with, I'm bottlenecked on the carbonyl sulfide step of this. So, yeah, no, it's not actually that much that gets produced. Like, no, sorry, that's actually not how much high-grade silver I'm going to end up with out of here. Like, I'm nowhere near that amount. Nowhere near full 0.5 out of this. It's like 0.14, something like that. I mistakenly thought, I think, that you got the full 0.5 out of this. But no. It's like a fifth of that. So, non-zero collagen exists. What is the next step? Well, I think, actually... Let me grab my mixers. I think I may actually have everything I need to just make drilling fluid 2. I am making drilling fluid 1. I'm only making enough drilling fluid 1 to fuel up to 1 process, though. I will have to scale that to at least 3. Yeah, I'll probably want to double that. Where even is DF1? DF1 is here. This is enough to feed 1 process. I think this is 200 per second, so it's slightly more than... It's 50 more per second than I need for the lead currently, but I need it for lead, iron, and tin. And titanium, so 4. So I need to triple this, basically. So I want 4 of this. 4 of this, which is like 4 of this, 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 4 of this. Not really. It's 4 of this, not 4 of this. Definitely probably not 4 of this. Definitely probably not 4 of this. Another line of gum in the end. But yeah, I just need another 3 more guar. If I want another 3 of these, anyway. In the meantime, you... DF... Oh, right. That's what I'm missing. Ugh. Great. What did I just realize I was missing? Boric acid at scale? Yeah. So, boric acid at scale. You want to know another thing that'll... So remember how I just said I needed like times 4 or 3? An extra 3 on the drilling fluid one? Yeah, I need an extra 4 on the drilling fluid one. Yeah, about that. See, I need boron. / borax. I need some borax at scale. Don't know why I'm manually placing all of these. Too used to manually doing stuff. Took me ages just to install nanobots to begin with. Let's see, that's 6. That's 300. 300 is enough to fuel a single yellow belt worth of ground board chromium. If you have a look here, you see that it's 300 per second. Lubricant. Lubricant gets replaced with drilling fluid 2 when I disable my mod eventually. That makes it lubricant. So 15 per second chromium for 300 of drilling fluid 2. I absolutely have the collagen. I do not have the guar. I absolutely have the hydrogen chloride. I absolutely have the ethylene glycol. I have boric acid, but I need to set that up at scale next. So that is the next thing. That is the next thing. So we're going to move on. The question is, do I set up some boric acid processing first? Or do I scale the drilling fluid 1 first? I think I'll set up the boric acid processing first. Yeah, so this is going to need some electrolyzers. Bring me some electrolyzers. This is telling me that potentially I am out of storage? Maybe? Either that or my dudes are just way too busy to clean the stuff out from my inventory. But here, have some storage. Sure. Why not? Let's see. I'll need the electrolyzers. Do I have any washers? I have 1. 1 whole washer on me. Great. Great, washer, and then ground borers. At least I know I have you that I can count on. So unfortunately with the borax will be drilling fluid 1. And it's 6! Oh gosh. But it's only 200. Okay. I can live with that. Oh, you are absolutely off. Ew. Why you so big, buildings? Why you need be so big? That will work. Yeah, that will work. I'm not so much concerned about it actually moving at this point in time, but I will be at some point. Oh, right, drill heads. Do I make drill heads just on the network? Just plop a thing down and make drill heads out of it? Probably should think about doing that, at some point. Probably going to need more lubricant as well as some additional syngas to properly feed this. So I will do... How much out? 2.5. That is fine for one of these. Power, power, power. Okay. That's all that powered. The next question is, do I wish to process the full 15 per second into borax? Because this would actually make a lot, understatement of the century, a lot of boric acid. In fact, it's actually more resource dense to move diborane and convert boric acid at the destination than it is to pipe out boric acid everywhere. What am I looking for? Washer Mark IIs. That's what I'm looking for. Here, you can take that away from me as well. So here's the thing. 150, right? On boric? Yeah, one electrolyzer Mark II can make 375. Out of 75 of diborane. Well, okay. So that is less than half. Less than half of a borax to give you more than double what you need to feed this on boric acid. From less than half of a borax belt. Which borax, of course, gets washed in washers. From raw, it is 1-to-1. Just for reference, it is a 1-to-1. They do not take productivity. You take productivity, though. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, that's nice. Yeah, from 30. Oh, that's within reason. And only 1.71? Yeah. That's the output of one of these. Pretty much close to it. Yeah, that's one ground borer is enough to fuel the entire output of a drilling fluid 2 line. So that's actually pretty reasonable, I think. That's reasonable. Because this is drilling fluid 1. So you're shoving in a little bit of drilling fluid 1 to fuel your drilling fluid 2. By the way, there was some adjustments made, not really with the boric acid, but it's like, oh, that it makes sense that you're going to use drilling fluid 1 in some way to make fluid 2, and then use fluid 2 in some way to make fluid 3. In this case, it's the chromium requirement. So you're using fluid 2 to get your chromium here, and you're using the fluid 1 to get your boric acid directly here, which is great. And then I think somewhere on this chain, it's silver. So, also, the ethylene glycol also pulls in some little bit of drilling fluid 1 from the silver requirement to make ethylene glycol. So ethylene glycol and boric acid using drilling fluid 1 to make 2, and then 1 and 2 to make 3. Makes complete logical sense. And then, with drilling fluid 1, lubricant is used to make the copper ore. The reason why it is actually lubricant now to make copper ore was at my suggestion, so that you have a reason to scale lubricant up, to have lubricant feed into the process of making drilling fluid 1. So now you have a demand for lubricant going into drilling fluid 1, and then a demand for drilling fluid 1, therefore lubricant to go into drilling fluid 2, and then a demand for all of that going into drilling fluid 3. Logic! Logic and decent, good, based design. Something that design that makes sense, right? Sorta, when it's explained like that. However, let's think about the actual design of this. So how many is it again? 6 washers. They still haven't sent me my... Oh. Right. So, I think I might need a few washers, folks. I think I might be low on Mark II washers. I don't know about you, but I think I might be a little bit low on my Mark II washers at the moment. I have no idea why I would be low on Mark II washers. It's not like I'm trying to place down 192 Mark II washers somewhere to make a whole bunch of sand out of soil or anything. Yeah. So, 6 washers. There's your 6 washers. Then it's like 1 electrolyzer. 6 washers gives you a whole bunch. That gives me borax that I can use for the things that need borax. The things what need borax? It's just like 1. Actually, it's like 2 making the diborane. Yeah, 2 making the diborane with productivity. Thank you so much, Tirsif, for making a mod that increases the module slots yet again. I think it's 2 anyway. And then the one to make the boric acid. Efficiency, yeah, 30, 30, more than enough. More than 150. So, yeah, that is fine. If I actually wanted to use the full 15, it would be 18 of these. Yeah, I think I'm good for now on that front. Pretty good for now on that front. So that will be that setup, which means I guess I should be able to route the ethylene glycol from over here. I have completely forgotten exactly how much ethylene glycol I'm making. Like, FYI, I appear to be making 75 units per second, which is exactly enough. Which means that if I want more ethylene glycol, I'm going to need to, you know, copy and paste this nonsense. Then 3 here is 75, which is, again, just enough. So that's good. All that's really good. I will do my inputs here. Requester chests. I think I want to see non-zero drilling fluid 2 today. We've got 18 minutes left in the stream today, approximately. I think I want to see non-zero drilling fluid 2. That would be ideal, I think. That would be a good mark of progress, despite spending like half an hour just talking at the beginning of the stream today. Just talking in great depth, actually. I have 28,000 units of collagen on my network right now. Oh boy. Just talking in great detail about the, licensing and all of that. It's a great discussion, even with Pyanodon, on licensing and mods and making monetized video content of mods and all of that good stuff. Because of now, and what brought that up is that Industrial Revolution from Deadlock is let's just say that Deadlock has voiced an opinion, a thought on that matter that is a little bit different than most mod authors, I would say. So, yeah, that was a discussion. Alright, boric acid will need to be hooked up. I'll do it here-ish. Is that the max? That's the max. Alright, cool. That's not a good spot for you. Good spot for you is right there. Like that. Oh, I guess I could also do the hydrogen production here. Do I have a hydrogen line handy? That would be nice. If I had some hydrogen just sitting nearby. I do have this right here, but that's not going to be enough. And I think all of it is used in here, so I think I'm just gonna have to grab another thingy. Let's see, so 2 needs 42. Okay. Alright. Sure. We'll split water and make 75. A little bit more than what I need. Just a little bit more than what I need, and then I will, of course, have to, you know, gas vent. Why are my gas vents not on the thingy? Anyway. Just gonna gas vent. Probably gonna cut this and paste it right up against you. Grab my deep water well to give you... Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna need water anyway. So that's going to be there. That could be there. And I can do this. And there's the water. That's the stuff vented. That's the hydrogen. Just add some power here. How much water for you? That is fine. I will actually take this water out here. Feed it into these washers. Break that. Ah. Tailings. How many tailings? 171, that's 3. Sinkholes. 1, 2, 3. 3 sinkholes for you. Just add water, and then just add borax. Yeah, raw borax. How much per 2.86? Going to be just fine. Oh, that's a little unfortunate. Just fine with standard inserters here. Trying to somewhat conserve. Actually, you know what? Because my robots are busy, let's just say a few more. Let's make them even busier. I should not have any raw borax in logistic storage at the moment. I will need to bring some syngas and lubricant over. Do I have those lines anywhere? Just to get some non-zero? I definitely have lubricant here. Don't know about syngas, though. I definitely, though, have the ability to make syngas out of all of this beautiful coal gas. So that is nothing to worry about. So I will go down and bring up my current lubricant. As, even though that may cause me some issues in the current moment. Ooh, that's a bit long. Oh, but it does reach. Cool. It had reach. And just for reference for Pyanodon, maybe it shouldn't take 6 ground borers for a yellow belt. Maybe not 6. Considering lead is 3. Iron is 4. Copper, I mean, chromium is 4. The majority of things is 4. Most things are 4 for the yellow belt. I mean, Nexilite will give you 20, but I still don't think it's worth this over tailings. If you have the space. As unnecessary as it is, quartz is also 4. Majority of things are 4. Borax is just different in that it's 6. What about molybdenum? Molybdenum is like 3, less like 2.5 to get 15 out on Molly. Just add syngas? Yeah, just add syngas. Do I happen to have? I do. Let's see here. How much? 200 on the syngas. Right, I would have to get rid of ash if I made it here. Am I actually doing that anywhere? I don't think so. currently. I think this is the first time I'm actually really using syngas up here. Yeah, I think this is the first time I'm using syngas up here. So, do you take those? You do. Do I really need to use those? Probably not. In all actuality, I've got insane amounts of... Oh, that's the oxygen recipe. Let's do the one without the oxygen. Needs one more that I'm carrying. I'll just request them. I should have them. Where are you? Wherefore art thou? Icon. That's the icon that I'm looking for. Let's see. And then that would need really? Wow, that's a net positive? Alright. Cool. Oh, and it always... Wow, 4 whole units per second of ash. Sheesh. That's neat. Also, why are you not moving at all times? Ah, right, because you're designed for tar, not for coal gas. Huh. Right. Oh, that's annoying. I have to shift this down one, sadly. What? Oh. Don't mind me as I continue building inefficiently over and over and over and over again. Guess I could do the same thing here. It's like, oh hey, have coal gas, have all of my coal gas. How much gets produced out of this? Just for reference, for yeah, 8 with thingies. Yeah, enough. Enough. Like 256 if it's constantly moving. Alright, so you are currently backed up. You know, I'm probably gonna take an overflow valve here. Are you bringing me things? Like, please, bring me things. Alright, they've brought me things. I just saw that I think that I just got a delivery of gasifiers. Did I? No. I just saw a guy with a building. Oh, hey, there they are. There you go. Coal, gas from you. Yeah, that should be okay. Yeah, that should be fine. Hey, go fast for me. And also give me some of these. that I know I will need. That's 8. 8 by 60. 8 by 60 is 480. That is exactly how much I need. And then this needs to go here. And then I need 3 pumps. 3 air pumps. Please tell me I have... I don't, but I can craft them, apparently. Doink, doink. Doink. Pressured air. They make 20 each. And add power, and we're good. And that just leaves dealing with the ash, which, hey, I've got burners. I've got burners. I can burn the ash, although, yes, this is the not coke. This is the not coke, so that will get things moving. For now, I'm gonna throw a bunch of speed into you. It's gonna keep this slowed, though, for now. Then power. And sinkholes. How many sinkholes? 2 on you. Auto-saving. We've sort of reached the end, by the way, but I will go ahead and finish this setup here so that it's technically moving and making some wonderful... Oh, right. We'll do that. That. And that. And power. Okay. Then it's the water, of course. The water. The water. There. Move. Oh, and then, blah! Things! So many things! So many things to worry about. Power. So many things to delay me. Go. Do the thing. Avoid the stuff and go this way. Get the stuff. Move. It's moving! Borax! She lives! The borax lives! It is making the raw borax. Now to get my robots to move the stuff from here to here. And then this is actually hooked up. Yes? Now it is. So, please, God. Now, do I have... Ugh. I don't. I don't! Who knows? Give me more big thingies. More big tanks. More big tanks. Big tanks are awesome. More big tanks. give me some great, big, giant, stupid, sized tanks. Big, beautiful tanks. Alright, you are operating. Right. I did not do the thing. I seem to have forgotten to do this rather important step. Which is to then, you know, request things here, not there. Do the thing! Bots, go, do the stuff, help. Help the things move. I want to see some non-zero amounts of drilling fluid. Some non-zero amounts of drilling fluid to occur today. It must happen. We have non-zero drilling fluid too. It exists. The fluid too exists. I can't believe it. We did it. We finally did it. Oh boy. It's in no way continually sustainable as it currently exists, because I don't have the guar to sustain it. But, because I haven't scaled up my guar yet, I need... let's say I need... where's my current guar? Current guar, here. I need this times 6. Now. Like, I need this at least times 1 to feed what I currently have with the drilling fluid, but I need it like times 5 more on top of that for the amount of fluid 1 that I am going to need. Joy! Bliss! Beauty! Drilling fluid 2 exists in non-zero amounts. So, let's conclude things, close things up here. What got done today? Well, there's a great big and actually pretty good discussion with Pyanodon on licensing and all of that nonsense. And what we basically came to the conclusion was that Factorio devs should probably include a term in their terms of service stating that mods must follow those terms of service, their terms of service. This is very reasonable. I think no one would necessarily disagree that a mod for a game, at least in some respects, must follow the rules of the game itself. Technically speaking, I know that a number of developers / publishers for video games actually say if you make a mod for our game, we technically own your mod, and that is the case, actually, pretty much across the board, and they have the right to dictate those sort of rules. So there should probably be a term in the terms of service saying, just clarifying, hey, our terms supersede any mod's terms. And that would do away with all concerns whatsoever in regards to people making monetized video content of mods. Because the terms of service for Factorio specifically grant the user of Factorio the right to produce monetized video content of their game. We just want to see that term, like, clarify that term as applying to all mods. So that mods can have these very stringent, like, broad, non-commercial terms in their licenses, because technically speaking, the non-commercial terms in licenses for major mod overhauls such as Pyanodons and Angels, even Bob's has non-commercial terms, and the new Industrial Revolution include this very broad slash semi not well defined non-commercial use term in it. And yeah, seeing as how mod authors aren't really able to even necessarily enforce that term anyway, they just don't want to see people repackaging and selling their mod, or people making videos and selling access to their videos of their mod. That's over the line for the most part, but we also want, but as a content creator myself, we want to have that peace of mind as well, that what we're creating doesn't violate their terms, right? So in the end, it's like, oh, well, maybe Factorio terms of service should clarify this issue here as well. I think that is something that even the mod authors themselves would appreciate, or at least go along with for the most part. Just a statement in the terms that says that these terms supersede the terms of any mod. Just clarification. I think it already does anyway, but that's just a personal opinion, and I'm definitely not a lawyer, so that's just my take, is that I think the terms technically do supersede anyway, but it's something that needs some extra clarification. Anyway, in terms of the actual progress in the game today, finished off, officially completely finished off the production of stone wool. Got all of the logistics done on the stone wool. I think I need a few more high pressure furnaces on the stone wool. And got that logistics done into the Zapier artificial reefs. Got the artificial reefs moving. Got power to get rid of the wastewater, got all the logistics done on the artificial reefs, set up the Zapier rendering, and set up somewhere, set up the destruction of the other, quote, byproducts of the Zapier rendering, as well as started storing the inordinate amounts of blood that'll be coming out of this while venting / sinkholing the excess. We're gonna have like 1 million units of blood here, just casually, like 1 million units of blood just hanging out for a little while. Just a small buffer of blood. And then yeah, got the collagen moving. Set up the steam for the collagen out of excess methanol. Like, that was just a pure stroke of coincidence that I just happened to realize, hey, methanol has a fuel value of 1. How much extra do I have, and is that enough to give me enough steam to fuel all of these agitators? And as it turns out, yeah, and I still actually have a bit extra as well on top of that of the methanol. So got the collagen set up and then proceeded to head over here to set up the actual drilling fluid 2. Got the boric acid production going to fuel the mixers for the drilling fluid 2. And that's how we've ended. So what is going to happen next time? Next time is going to be all about setting up additional guar. So next time is further scaling up of guar production and guar gum, and likely getting all the pipe work done, getting the drilling fluid 2 down to where I'm doing my current chromium. So my current chromium is way down here. This is my current chromium. Wow, I am backed up on you. Wow, okay. So yeah, current chromium is down here. I need to bring the drilling fluid 2 down to you. And I need to scale up my drilling fluid 1. So next time is scaling up drilling fluid 1, getting the drilling fluid 1 to where I currently need drilling fluid 1 on my current ground boring of the lead and borax. And then we shall see if I can manage to do all of that within the single stream. You may see me disable the pi borer reversion mod. I will have so much extra lubricant after doing that. Like, understatement. I will have a lot more lubricant available to me by doing that, but I will also have a lot more stuff moving from the drilling fluids getting used and all that. And then we have the wonderful, wonderful job of having to scale up the drilling fluid 1 and 2 even further so that I can start drilling iron, so that I can start drilling tin and titanium and the fluid 2 for the aluminium and the zinc and the nickel, and then setting up fluid 3 for the molybdenum and the niobium. So we're gonna actually start working on the actual drilling, ground boring of stuff, and it's gonna be awesome. And I'm gonna have to be setting up the high grade processing in the meantime. So that's all gonna start next time. With that, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you are watching the VOD on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you are so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/OtakuShowboat to leave a follow and turn on notifications to be reminded when I go live Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. US Eastern Time. You can follow me on Twitter at OtakuShowboat, as well as visit my website at otakushowboat.com. And if you would like to support Pyanodon, you can go to his Patreon to support the development of the mod at patreon.com/Pyanodon. Or if you want to help support me and my continued existence, you can go to patreon.com/OtakuShowboat. I hope to see you all on the next one, and do not forget that today is the quartz chain tutorial going live at 5 o'clock in the afternoon as of the day of this recording. So if you're watching the VOD, it has already happened the previous day. So I hope you all have enjoyed the quartz tutorial. The one that will follow will ideally be an early game walkthrough tutorial. Yeah, that type of thing. So it'll be burner into first automation of wood is what I'm thinking. I'll have a video going over video and a write-up going over what your priorities should be in the very early game, going through the burner phase as well as the initial phases of electricity, going into your first handcrafted red science up to the point where you get coal processing one, ideally. And then I would make another video about red science that'll be how to automate red science for the most part. And then a video at some point further down after doing a few other chains like circuits and the tin processing for the period in between red and green science. So when I do, I'll have another video about priorities in the early game. You've set up your automation of red science. What next? Sort of overview type video. It's like, okay, I have red science. What am I going to do next? Circuits. Work towards green science. And then any other additional outputs you need to be thinking about making, or any additional inputs you need to be thinking about setting up. So those are all things to come on that front. And again, thank you for watching. I will see you all on the next one.